Hello and thanks for joining me today. You're listening to Alive with Dr. Nimira. Over the last decade, I've been spending my days taking care of mostly women who not only have aches and pains, but who've also spent the last decade or two putting their career and family first. I stand for a world where we can live our passions and purpose all out without the fear of our physical bodies giving out. I've created this podcast, Alive, always living in vibrant energy, as a quick way for you to learn more about your body. This really is a no frills, get the information out there podcast, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. As an upper cervical chiropractor, I regularly take care of many different types of people at varying degrees of health, and over the upcoming episodes, we'll discuss many types of things that can be reduced or eliminated when you can rebalance your health at the level of your brainstem. Today, I wanted to actually chat with you about upper cervical chiropractic. I know I usually discuss the different types of things that can help, but I wanted to spend some time today about the technique itself and what you could expect if you decided to give it a try. So first we'll look at philosophy, and we'll also then look at technique. So philosophy, really, even within traditional chiropractic, we're really looking at the brain and the nervous system as the master controllers of the body, which then control all of your other organ systems and keep your body in balance and functioning well. So with upper cervical chiropractic, we're really looking at the simplicity and minimalism. And I think that's where a lot of times people can get confused or lost, because it really is a simplistic approach. It's very simple in the protocol. It's very simple in the philosophy. We're really trying to get a less is more effect on the body by not adjusting everything. So the brainstem is where we can have the greatest effect on the body because it's protected by the atlas. The atlas doesn't have facet joints. It has 3 directions of motion, unlike the rest of the spine. And the atlas is where you can actually have those ligaments pull out of place, lock, and then get stuck out of place so that the atlas can't correct itself. The rest of the spine, you hear pops and joints and cracks all the time in your body, I'm sure, when you're doing things, and that's your spine resetting itself on its own. So the atlas is the only place where the spine can't do any resetting on its own because the ligaments are locking it out of place. So when you can reset just the atlas, take pressure off of your brainstem, you can have a more whole body approach to resetting your nervous system and allowing everything to work well. So really we're looking at that brainstem function and alignment up in the upper neck area. So in terms of protocol, what we do is we take x-rays, because in that upper area, many of us have all sorts of malformation. So we're not only looking at the misalignment, but also the malformation to see how we can get the best correction to get the greatest effect so that your body actually accepts the correction and doesn't try to fight it, right? We want to make sure that we are trying to get function restored, which is the bigger thing, not just alignment. If we can fix alignment but it doesn't affect function, it's not going to help us at all at the end of the day. It's not what you as the patient are looking for. You want your function to change, not just your alignment. And so with function, what we're doing is we're using something called infrared thermography. It's a really simple scanning tool that measures heat. So there's no radiation involved in that. What it does is when we take scans of that upper neck area, we see how the body's fight or flight mechanism is responding. And so when our bodies are calm and in a state of balance, the scan is nice and calm and looks balanced. When we're stressed out, the scan will look all squiggly and look stressed out. And over time, if we get stuck in that state of stress, that long-term prolonged stress where we can't come out of stress anymore, the same scan will show up over and over and over again. And this is how we can tell our body is literally stuck. So we're using the scan to have an objective tool to see what our body looks like when it's truly stuck and needs an adjustment. Now, the cool part there is once we know what that looks like, we now know what you need when you look like when you get an adjustment. We're not doing palpation and feeling around to see if the bone feels like it's misaligned. We actually know that it's not working as well as it should be. We can give a very specific mild tap to the bone. What we do is we actually have you lay on your side. The headpiece is set to just a tiny little bit of tension, and most of the time patients don't even notice that the adjustment's happening. So you lay on your side, we don't twist or pop or rotate the head at all. and there's no cracking. It's not a very complicated adjustment. It's a very simple yet specific. And the cool thing there is then we can actually post-scan you after the adjustment to make sure that we made that change in the neurology, to make sure that we made a change in the function and the physiology. So we're able to objectively check before you even leave the office that your body made that change. So then, unlike traditional chiropractic, you don't have to come in to get an adjustment. I think it's actually a really big mindset piece of the puzzle for people. When you always feel like you have to come in to get adjusted, it feels like something is always wrong. In upper cervical chiropractic, you're coming in to get checked. You're coming in, we scan you, I check your legs, I then have you rest for a little bit to see if your body's able to change and adapt, and then I can scan you and check you again. If we see that pattern that it looks like when your body is truly stuck, I know that I need to make another adjustment. If it doesn't, that's usually when we do little happy dances around the office, because if your scan is changing, it tells me you're adapting. It tells me that your body is still responding to your last adjustment and we don't need another one. That's what my patients love the most, because they can actually see progress at that point. If you keep holding your adjustments for longer and longer periods of time, it means that your body is making progress and change. We don't want you to rely on the adjustment. We want your body to make that progress and change and grow and heal. So that's kind of the lovely part about upper cervical work, is you're not coming in for those tune-up adjustments. You're coming in once in a while to get checked to make sure that your body is still responding the way it should be, and we can tell because we have the scanner to do that. So really then this becomes about focusing on creating stability in the upper neck area instead of creating hypermobility. So the more and more you get adjusted, the more and more hypermobile we become. When we can adjust less, we create stability. And then it's kind of like a zipper. Someone actually told me this once, and they, heard me explaining it, and they're like, it's kind of like a zipper. Once you get that first part of the zipper started, the rest of it kind of goes easily, right? Sometimes we fidget down there at the bottom for a little while, but once we get the zipper connected, the rest of it just goes. And that's how the spine works as well. So I have patients who have upper head and neck issues, and those things kind of start to create balance and create stability, and they start to go away. But then my patients who have low back pain issues or shoulder issues or knee or ankle issues or whatever, as the rest of the spine starts to follow suit, they start to see those issues go away too. So it's not, if you have knee pain, it's not that I can't help you, because once we recreate stability in that upper area, the whole body will have a response. And that's kind of another thing we really love about upper cervical, is it really is a less is more approach that still has a whole body result. So that's all I have for today. I hope that you learned something new and that you have some useful information to improve your health. Don't take life too seriously. Stress makes everything worse. Enjoy this week as best as you can, and I'll catch you in 2 weeks. In the meantime, purposefully live all out and reach out for help if you need it. I'm here for you.